Maya pressed her face against the cold glass of the hospital window, watching the rain streak down like tears. Her stomach hadn't stopped growling for 2 days, but hunger was a familiar companion by now. At 17, she'd learned to ignore a lot of things. Inside the private room, machines beeped steadily around an old man who looked smaller than his reputation suggested. Richard Blackstone. She'd recognized him from the newspapers people threw away, the ones she sometimes used for warmth. The tech mogul who'd built an empire from nothing, now reduced to tubes and monitors. "Excuse me." A security guard's hand landed heavy on her shoulder. "You can't loiter here." "I'm not loitering." Maya's voice was steady, despite her racing heart. "I need to see him." The guard laughed, not unkindly. "Kid, Mr. Blackstone doesn't take visitors, especially not—" He gestured vaguely at her threadbare clothes, the dirt under her fingernails. "Please." Something desperate crept into her voice. "Just 5 minutes. I can help him." Before the guard could respond, the door opened. A woman in an expensive coat emerged, dabbing her eyes with a tissue. Maya had seen her in the papers too, Richard's daughter, Victoria. "Mother's flying in from Paris," Victoria was saying to someone behind her. "The doctors say it's a matter of days now." Maya stepped forward. "Ma'am, I know this sounds crazy, but—" "Security!" Victoria's voice cut through the hospital corridor like a whip. "Why is this person here?" "I can heal your father." The words hung in the air like smoke. Victoria stared at Maya like she'd sprouted wings. The security guard reached for Maya's arm, but she dodged. "I know it sounds, but I've done it before. I can take away pain, help bodies remember how to heal themselves. Your father doesn't have to die." Victoria's laugh was sharp and bitter. "You're insane. A homeless girl thinks she can cure terminal cancer? Do you have any idea how many world-class doctors we've consulted?" "I'm not asking for money." Maya's eyes were bright with unshed tears. "I just want to try." Something in her voice made Victoria pause. Maybe it was the complete absence of guile, or the way Maya's hands trembled, not from cold, but from genuine desperation to help. "Robert's been sick for months. The man who runs the sandwich shop on 5th Street. Liver cancer. The doctors gave him 2 weeks. That was 3 months ago." Victoria's expression flickered. "That's impossible." "Ask him yourself." Maya pulled a crumpled business card from her pocket. "Mario's Deli. He'll tell you." For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then Victoria's son James appeared in the doorway, looking haggard. "Mom, the lawyers are here about the will." He stopped, noticing Maya. "Who's this?" "Someone who claims she can save Grandpa," Victoria said, her tone suggesting what she thought of that possibility. James studied Maya with tired eyes. At 25, he'd watched his grandfather build and lose fortunes, seen him fight through business wars and personal tragedies. Richard Blackstone wasn't a man who gave up easily, but pancreatic cancer didn't negotiate. "What kind of healing?" James asked quietly. Maya's breath caught. Someone was actually listening. "I don't understand how it works. I just know things about people when I touch them. I can feel where the sickness is, help their body fight it. I've been able to do it since I was little." "That's ridiculous," Victoria snapped. "James, don't encourage this." But James was remembering something. A conversation with his grandfather weeks ago, when the pain was still manageable and Richard's mind was sharp. "There was a girl," Richard had said, staring out at the city he'd helped build. "When I was young, maybe 8 or 9, we lived in the tenements then, before everything changed. My little sister got scarlet fever. Should have killed her, but this girl couldn't have been older than I was. She came to our apartment. Dirty, hungry, reminded me of the street kids we all knew. She touched Anna's forehead. And I swear to you, James, the fever broke that night." James had assumed it was the morphine talking. Now he wasn't so sure. "What's your name?" he asked Maya. Maya Chen. And you're how old? 17. James nodded slowly, then turned to his mother. Let her try. Absolutely not. I won't have some delusional street person. Mom. James's voice was firm. He's dying anyway. What's the worst that could happen? Victoria looked between her son and Maya, seeing something in both their faces that made her protests die in her throat. Finally, with visible reluctance, she stepped aside. Maya's hands shook as she approached the bed. Richard Blackstone looked so frail, his breathing shallow and labored. She'd never attempted anything this advanced before, but something deep inside told her it was possible. She placed her palms gently on his chest, over his heart. Immediately she gasped. The cancer was everywhere, spreading like dark water through his system. But underneath it, she could feel something else. A strength, a will to live that refused to surrender. I can see it, she whispered. It's like shadows in bright places, but you're still fighting. Richard's eyes fluttered open. They were clearer than they had been in weeks. Who are you? His voice was barely audible. Someone who wants to help. She closed her eyes, concentrating. Heat flowed from her hands into his chest, and she felt the strange, indescribable sensation of cellular walls strengthening, of immune systems awakening from their exhausted slumber. She worked for 20 minutes, sweat beading on her forehead despite the cool hospital air. Finally, she stepped back, swaying slightly. The shadows are smaller now, but this will take time. Several sessions. And he'll need to want to live. Really want to live. Richard's eyes were fully open now, more alert than they had been in months. Victoria? James? We're here, Dad. Victoria was crying openly now, clutching his hand. Over the next 3 weeks, Maya returned every day. Each session left her exhausted, but Richard grew stronger. His appetite returned. The medication was reduced, then eliminated. Most shocking of all, his latest scans showed tumor shrinkage that his oncologist called medically impossible. On a Thursday morning, Maya didn't come. James found her in the park across from the hospital, sitting on a bench, looking smaller than ever. Why aren't you coming to see Grandpa? He asked, settling beside her. Maya was quiet for a long time. Because I know what you're all thinking now, about how to use this, monetize it, turn it into something bigger. Your family's going to want to study me, control me, make me into some kind of miracle cure. James winced because she was partially right. The conversations had already started. I've been running from that my whole life. Every time someone finds out what I can do, they want to own it. Own me. I won't be anyone's miracle cure. Then what do you want? Maya smiled, the first real smile James had seen from her. To keep helping people. Quietly. The way I've always done it. She stood up. Your grandfather will be fine now. His body remembers how to fight. Tell him sometimes the best medicine is simply believing someone cares enough to try. She started walking away, but James called after her, Maya, wait! At least let us help you. A place to stay? Food? I have what I need. But thank you. 6 months later, Richard Blackstone was declared cancer-free. He never spoke publicly about his recovery, but he quietly established a foundation that provided meals and medical care to homeless youth, no questions asked. And sometimes workers at the foundation would tell stories about a young woman who appeared when someone was at their lowest point, who seemed to know exactly what they needed to hear, whose touch could ease pain in ways that couldn't be explained. They never knew her name, but they called her the Angel of the Streets. Maya preferred it that way.